I have stated before, I am really not the person to ask about football. I never watch football or like the Super Bowl. But I know tonight the Kansas City Chiefs are playing the San Francisco 49ers. I was going to wear something red, but I don't even think I own any red shirts. So the only thing that comes close is like CNN stuff, and I really didn't want to wear that on the live stream. But I have gotten into one particular aspect of football, and I do want to share this with you because I'm pretty excited about this. I'm going to be real. I'm psyched about this. And all right, so I have a bit of a confession, which you guys are probably going to find somewhat maybe surprising, maybe not if you've been following me on Instagram this week, because I have been sharing some Instagram stories about this. And that is that I have become obsessed with NFL wife Kristen Juszczyk. So we have to talk about Kristen Juszczyk. I am so obsessed. So who is Kristen Juszczyk, and what does she have to do with sewing and the Super Bowl? We're going to talk about that because I've become a Kristen Juszczyk super fan. And one week I went from not knowing who this lady was to becoming probably unhealthily obsessed with this particular person. So Kristen Juszczyk is married to fullback of the San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Juszczyk. And I saw this and I was like, this is super cool. I'm not even sure how I found out about this story, but I went from not knowing who she was to spending hours on her Instagram and TikTok. So Kristen, she recently broke 1 million Instagram followers, and she is into sewing and embroidery. So I was like, this is super awesome. So Kristen, who, by the way, I think today is her birthday, or it was like, yes, it's this week. Her birthday is this weekend. She just turned 30. And she obviously, as like one of the NFL wives, she goes to all the games and they like to wear cute outfits. So Kristen started taking your standard kind of boring, bland San Francisco 49ers merch, and she started upcycling into custom creations, which I thought was just super cool. So here's her Instagram. It's just so awesome. I got to show you guys some of this stuff because she's just so gorgeous. I mean, obviously she's gorgeous, but this is so super cute. So here's some of her stuff. So she'll take like a jersey. Also, we have some of the same stuff, and then she turns it into something totally cool. She has the same Ginger tailor shears I have. Let's take a look. Aren't these outfits just adorable? I mean, look at this girl. She's so cute. But let me show you some of the sewing things. Let me see if I can. Okay. So here she starts off in a 49ers jersey. She's cutting it up. And then she turns it into like puffer jackets. She made like a corset. She's made corsets. She made a top just out of like literally a football. Let me see if I can find some other stuff. Okay, she made some boots. I mean, she's so creative. I just looked at her account and I was like, how does she even come up with these ideas? These are so cool. And she actually has a Brother PE 900 embroidery machine. I saw that in some of the videos of her. All right, let's see. So she started making off stuff for herself for the outfits. All right, where's one of her sewing? I got to find one. She does have somewhere you can see her at the sewing machine. Also, she's started making stuff for other high profile. Okay, so here's her with their sewing machine. So she went viral because she made outfits. She made these puffer jackets for Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift. I mean, get out. Taylor Swift, they went viral. She's everywhere. Like how? Oh, she made a custom jacket for Taylor Lautner. Yeah, the guy from the Twilight movies. I'm just so obsessed with all of this stuff. How that looks so professional. I'm just in awe of her talent and her creativity. And I'm so glad to see like a Gen Zer get into sewing, get into upcycling, and really highlight just how cool sewing is. She made a freaking suit. Okay, yeah, you can see on the back the 44 was definitely done with an embroidery. She's getting props from a lot of sewing companies. Like I saw Joanne's comment, Dritz Sewing, lots of other stuff. I'm trying to find one where she's sewing. Okay, so there she is designing a puffer jacket. Her outfits look so amazing though. I'm just so impressed. Okay, so she made this outfit for herself for Super Bowl Sunday. She made this really cool, it's like one of those old school looking, like Letterman's jackets. And then she made this jacket for her husband, Kyle, and she had all of his teammates sign it. How awesome is that? I'm just so obsessed with this whole thing. Okay, so this is the jacket she made for Kyle. It's so cool. It's so inspiring, and honestly, I'm not interested in football. This sort of gets me interested in football in a weird way, or at least interested in her. I'm just totally obsessed with all of her social media stuff. So let's take a look at her TikTok. So she's got 1 million on Instagram now. She had like 900,000 early in the week, so she's definitely getting props. Okay, here's the football course.
Follow me as I turn this football into...
Here's the football course that she made. This is so insane. Like, this is just totally insane. Yeah, isn't this amazing? I spent hours on her TikTok and Instagram. Oh, also, she is like a spokesperson for Invisalign, so she's getting some endorsements now and whatnot. Super cool. I'm trying to find... Okay, so she's gotten so many props for her designs. People are starting to notice. Let's see. I want to see one of her... There was one of her, like, okay, actually making the puffer jackets. Okay, so she actually has a Brother PE 900 embroidery machine, which is totally cool. So you can see her making the puffer jackets. Okay, so you can see some of her machines in the background. She's got a Juki serger. I've seen she has a Singer sewing machine, and she has a couple Brother sewing machines. She turned her husband's ping pong table and did like a sewing workshop. And I saw in one photo, she definitely has a Brother PE 900 embroidery machine. So shout out to Kristen. We have some of the same stuff. Super cool. I'm just so obsessed with this whole thing. All right, so let's take a look at a couple of articles. I think this is like so cool. And I want to show you guys that Kristen, I've been lurking on her Insta stories. And let me show you this photo here, because it was her birthday this weekend, and I thought this was so cool. Let me turn on camera 2 here. Hold on a second. And I'm going to show you guys Kristen's birthday cake. It was just so cute. All right, let me see. Okay. So I can't like pull this up on my screen, but this was on her Instagram stories. For her 30th birthday, she got a really amazing looking sewing machine cake. I just thought this was the coolest thing ever. And I wanted to show this on the live stream today. I just thought this was so awesome. And this is Kristen with her sewing machine cake. So happy birthday, Kristen. So amazing. So Kristen's designs are starting to get noticed, and she got some really exciting news this week. So, okay, there's a couple things I want to touch on here. So here's an article about Kristen. So it says, designer Kristen Juszczyk says her ultimate goal is to create clothes for the fans, all I've ever wanted. The designer and wife to 49ers running back Kyle Juszczyk has skyrocketed in the fashion space with her custom game day designs, and she's just getting started. Also, again, these articles are linked in the description box if you want to check them out. So she's been doing media interviews this week. She was on the Today Show. She was featured on like the Gayle King show. Because of all of the attention her designs have gotten in the past week or so, past couple weeks, she actually got a deal with the NFL. So she's now gotten a license with the NFL, so she can actually officially create her NFL fan merch, which is just super cool. So if you're not aware, people can like with this whole upcycling thing, people can make stuff for themselves. Like you can make, you can take jerseys and upcycle them to cool clothing items and other types of stuff. But it's actually illegal to sell them. So you can only make them for personal use if you don't have a license. If you don't have a license with the organization or with the IP intellectual property holder, you can't sell the items unless you get a license from the brand or the license holder you are making items of. So, and she actually pointed this out in her Instagram stories, and I'll point this out. Let's see here, which I thought was good of her to clarify, because I think there can be a lot of questions about this type of thing. So she has something in her Insta stories that says like, do not, here, let me pull this up. So it says, "Hi everyone, just want to say that I'm not selling any of these jackets. It's not legal and I need licensing in order to do that. We're trying to figure out how to get these to you all. But in the meantime, please be smart and don't partake." Because she saw someone selling unlicensed Chiefs puffer coats. So I think it's good, these two. So that is something I think a lot of people don't know about, is that you can make these things for your own like personal use, but the minute you start selling any of these things, you need to have a license, permission from the intellectual property, whoever owns the intellectual property rights for the thing you're making. You have to have a license in order to sell products, even if it's fan art and it's like your own. Like I see this all the time. People will say things like, "Well, this is my, this is fan art. I drew this myself, so it's okay. I don't need to get a license." That's absolutely not true, because you are relying on another brand's IP. You're basically selling another brand's IP. That's your quote unquote your artwork. It's not original artwork unless you own all of the intellectual property for the thing you're drawing. Like if I started, okay, so say I took this Tula Pink fabric and I drew the design, and it's my own artwork, quote unquote. I can't sell it because I took inspiration and reference from someone else's work. So I think there are a lot of questions about that type of thing, and I'm really glad Kristen actually specifically talked about that, because you see a lot of people doing like upcycling projects on Instagram and on social media. Now again, and I've made BTS items myself. Now for personal use, that's okay. I'm not selling it. I'm just using it, making things for myself or to gift things. But it would actually be illegal for me to sell BTS items, just like it would have been illegal for Kristen Juszczyk to sell NFL items, even though she is married to one of the NFL athletes. Even she was not allowed to sell NFL items. So that's why it was so important for her to get an NFL license. So now she can actually make and sell things legally, which is, it seems like she's in the process of doing. I just thought these articles were so cool, and I'm so glad to see someone who's sewing things and being creative in the news and getting some virality for her awesome creations. I just think this is super cool, and I thought it was awesome that Taylor Swift actually wore one of her items. I thought that was cool. She's very talented. I think her puffer jackets are super cute. And I actually think her designs are a lot cuter than a lot of that really boring NFL officially licensed merch. So let's take a look at some of the articles here. So here's one of them. Here is another one. So she actually, this is interesting. So she actually did not have Kristen actually made the Taylor Swift puffer jacket. Like, she didn't even know any of her dimensions. So that was pretty cool. She kind of guessed a lot of things and it worked out. But yeah, I actually think these puffer jackets, like the NFL, she should totally start making them and selling them. Now she can, because she actually did get an NFL license. So typically, I believe when you license, when you get official licensing to sell products featuring another brand's IP, usually it's some sort of deal. Like, you have to pay them money. Like, you have to get them cash up front or give them royalties for what you sell, something like that. It does seem pretty expensive, and the average person typically cannot get licensed to sell like very big brands. Now, I know some IP, like video games and other types of, like cartoons and stuff. Some of them actually do have guidelines for selling fan art on a small scale. You really have to be very careful, though, and research each different company to see like what their guidelines are. But a lot of companies do not allow any sort of unauthorized, unlicensed fan art or anything along those lines. You can't even like reference them. Like, I can't sell Taylor Swift t-shirts, anything like that, or even like a song lyric that's copyrighted. But a lot of these IP companies have a trademark. So you have to make sure that you are following all the trademark laws and not inadvertently selling illegal stuff, because a lot of people are, and I see that all over Etsy. I see a lot of people on Instagram selling that kind of thing, and that's just not legal. All right, so this is Kristen, and this is, so Taylor, I can't believe she had to have been like freaking out when she saw Taylor Swift wearing something she made. That's just so, like, I would be so excited if a celebrity wore something I made. All right, so look at all these articles about her in the past couple weeks. Super cool. And yeah, she's made stuff for Olivia Culpo, who is engaged to another 49ers player. So a lot of cool stuff. This is just so.
You need to get a room.
Okay, let's see here. I'm trying not to play. All right, I'm not going to play that because you can't play it without the audio. So yeah, really cool articles. I'm really excited for Kristen. I think this is so amazing. All right, here's another article from USA Today. Kristen Juszczyk is in a league of her own, creating NFL merchandise so women actually wear. Just super cool. I love the puffer jackets. I love what she's doing. And I think when you see stories like this, you don't really often see sewing getting featured prominently, but I just think this is awesome that Kristen is really, kind of putting sewing in the spotlight. She had the sewing machine cake. She's pictured a lot in her home with her sewing machines and her embroidery machine. She's got a serger. She's got a lot of supplies. So a lot of really cool stuff about Kristen. And she also said she learned how to sew from YouTube. So she watches sewing YouTube channels. I was also kind of wondering, like, when I saw her with the Brother PE900 in the back of my mind, I was kind of like, I wonder if she's seen any of my videos on embroidery machines. I think when all of this Super Bowl stuff dies down, I might try to reach out to her to see if I could interview her for this channel. I probably won't get a response. I know this is like a huge stretch. But Kristen, if you happen to see this little segment on YouTube and you'd like to come on Sewing Report Live and chat all about your sewing, and I want to hear about your inspiration and how you got into this and ask you a lot of questions, I may try to reach out to Kristen to see if maybe there was like a shot in hell she would do this channel. I would love to have you, though, on the channel because I think you're awesome, and I just think this is like one of the coolest things I've seen in quite a while, featuring someone who sews. She's Gen Z. She's very young. I just think this is amazing. And I think it takes people like this, people like the people on TikTok doing, cool sewing projects to really make sewing popular, get sewing more into the mainstream. And I think sewing does not get the attention it deserves. So thank you, Kristen, for all you do. I'm really excited to see what you do with all of this NFL licensing stuff. I just think it's so amazing. And check out her website. I did link it in the description box. She has a website, Designs by Kristen. And I just think this is... Oh, and also, I totally forgot. So here she is in her home with her sewing machines. I almost forgot about this, but in like to celebrate her getting the NFL licensing deal, she actually made these really awesome, officially licensed NFL Super Bowl puffer vests, which are super amazing looking. So she made a few of these. So she gave some of them to some of the football players in the Super Bowl. I think she gave one to Gayle King of CBS. And she actually gave 2 of them to, she's doing an auction. So this one currently is up for auction. The current bid is $17,000. You have until Friday, February 16th to bid on them. And all of the proceeds are going to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. I mean, I love the fabric on this. I just think these look so, if she made this herself, this looks amazing. I love the fabric. I love the vibe to it. Super cool. I guess, is this Super Bowl 58, I believe? It's got like the NFL patches on it. It's so cool. I don't know I want to see how she made this. I really hope Kristen does a YouTube channel because I really want to know. I want to see how she made this puffer vest. It just looks so good. She had it. So puffer vest number 1 has already been auctioned off. And that one actually ended the bidding at $75,000. And again, all proceeds are going to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. I read somewhere that unfortunately Kristen's mother passed away from breast cancer years ago. So obviously this particular cause is very special to her personally, which I think is super amazing. So it looks like she's going to end up raising over $100,000 for the National Breast Cancer Foundation by auctioning off these puffer vests. I think these look so freaking good. I was really impressed by how these turned out. I also want to know, this looks like it was like screen printed or something. Or maybe she upcycled like an NFL jersey or something. I'll have to look into this because like this looks like it was professionally screen printed or something. Like this does not look like it was done on a Cricut or anything. But these are what they like. These just look so good. I want to know I really want to know how these came together. And I want to know, like, did she take like a Super Bowl jersey and turn this into a puffer vest? I don't even know. But that's what you need to know about Kristen Juszczyk. She is making a big name for herself in the sewing space and in the NFL. I think this is amazing. So I am definitely going to try to reach out to her. But here's the thing. I gotta wait like a month from now because she's obviously probably being bombarded by press interview requests. So once things quiet down, plus she probably wants to relax a bit, her and her husband, after the Super Bowl and all this other craziness. So once things die down, I want to try to reach out to her to try to see if she'll come on Sewing Report Live. Kristen, if you're watching this, please, I would love to have you on Sewing Report Live. We have a great community here, and I'm sure people would love to hear all about your sewing adventures. And because I sew myself, I'm going to ask you, I'm telling you this, I'm going to ask you better questions than these regular reporters who don't sew. So please, if you see this, I would love to have you on Sewing Report Live. We will have a great time.